more fucking around. It's Wild Style Radio. Wild Style Radio.
Stand up and shout!
What's up?
What is up?
Merry New Year.
Merry New Year and happy Christmas.
Yes.
If you're going to mix up, I guess, all of those wonderful, fun-loving terms.
Yeah, you know, like from Trading Places.
I love that.
Merry New Year.
Trading Places reference. I wasn't expecting that today. Very nice, Kevin.
What's up, folks? Welcome to the Stand Up and Shout Rock Show. We're coming to you live from Salisbury Center Studios in Manassas, Virginia, part of the Wild Style Network.
Happy holiday, man. Here we are. We're at an end-of-year wrap-up.
End of year wrap up of
Amazing.
year 3.
Year 3 of the Stand Up and Shout Rock Show.
Unbelievable.
I know, it's amazing. And it's been a hell of a ride again.
Absolutely. It's been a great year.
I know. So as always, we always comb over all of our material.
Yep.
And we celebrate our year in this fashion tonight in our end-of-year wrap-up. So all of the great things that happened, not only in the podcast, but in other live events that we were able to have fun with all through the year.
Yeah. The Stand Up and Shout Rock Show Awards for 2025.
2025 awards, yes,
Call
sir.
it like the Standees or something.
Yeah, I love it.
The nuts to butts.
So Kevin, before we even get into the awards, just the tone of the year and how you felt about the year, what it was for you, does anything stand out?
Well, I was thinking about it the other day, because the first show we did last year coming out of New Year's, we did our predictions.
2025 predictions.
And then 3 days later, one of my predictions was that Ozzy and Black Sabbath would reunite.
Yes.
And for a final show, and it happened. But then, so for me, it was kind of an up and down year, I think. Mm-hmm. There was lots of cool, great moments, and then just some sad things that happened, like Ozzy's passing. And so that's the main thing that stands out to me from the rock perspective. But then, on the good side is we always get to go to the great live shows. Absolutely. And it was a banner year for that.
I go to the month of May. If there's a standout month, it was hard to go past the month of May.
Yep.
Just between even just 2 events. We went to a lot of events, but the M3 Rock Festival was stellar with David Lee Roth. And then also the Metallica show at Lane Stadium in Blacksburg happened in the month of May. And then I also, just as a side note, we kicked off that M3 Rock Festival with the LA Gun show at the Tally Ho.
Which was phenomenal.
Right, completely unrelated to the M3 Rock Festival because they did not play the M3 Rock Festival. And we saw one hell of a show before we got going into that whole weekend.
Yeah, and, now that we're kind of looking back on that, it really kind of agitates me a little bit because M3 announced what they're doing for this coming spring.
Yeah, we haven't talked about it.
And it's quite a disappointment.
It is. So, I didn't know if we were going to kick off that into the new year and talk about that on our first show. But tickets are on sale for the M3 Rock Festival that we've gone year after year, and we've loved all the years of it. And it is by far the weakest. It's even hard to call it a festival. 7 bands are playing at that.
And
at that
one,
event.
it's gone from a 2 full day and a Friday night little appetizer to this year only 1 day. And it's quite, for me, it's the lineup's good. Right. I like the fact that Buck Cherry is going to be part of that group.
Finally, it's been long overdue.
Yeah. And it's a lot of the same bands, but with the survey that they sent out after last year's show,
Glad you brought that up.
It seemed like, I'm blanking on the Virginia Beach event.
Not Ocean's Calling, Boardwalk Rock.
Boardwalk Rock. Mm-hmm. After that, it seemed like, whether they were trying to compete with them or kind of replicate what they did there, which was also phenomenal. Mm-hmm. But, it sounded like they were going to mix up some more newer current bands and some of the classic, the glam metal bands that we are used to seeing there.
Yep.
And it's just 1 day.
Just 1 day and limited acts. And the headliner is Tom Kiefer.
Yep.
And then I guess there's a co-headliner, right? So they offer advertising. They're also advertising Queensryche as a co-headliner.
Right.
But I will say that every time I've never seen a bad Tom Kiefer show. It's like seeing Twisted Sister. I've never seen a bad Twisted Sister show. They're going to show up and play live and play amazing. That'll probably be a good moment. But It's just inconsistent, with the acts. I go to our friends Spread Eagle.
Yep. That's
at a very difficult time. They were the kickoff band on Sunday morning that we saw when you're several days now into the festival, several days drinking and partying and waking up early to go see an act like that. But they really brought a lot of good energy into the live show. And surprisingly, they're not there. We haven't talked to those guys.
No.
We should probably reach out to them and see what happened with that and why it fell through.
Yeah. Well, and we're used to Kicks, usually performing there as a local act. That torch seemed to pass over to Child's Play, and they're not even part of the bill.
Right. Exactly.
That was usually the as a longtime fan of the local bands, that was something we could look forward to. It was that we were going to see, at least Child's Play has played there the last 2 or 3 years.
Yep, absolutely. So I know. So I don't know how our month of May is going to shape up. I don't know how that's going to play, but we had a fantastic May of 2025.
We've got some
full confidence,
some killer shows coming up, but May's looking like it might be a little thin.
Yet to come.
For sure.
We have some tickets already for next year.
Yes.
Yeah. So we got some good events coming down the pipe. All right. Well, enough about the upcoming year. And I'm going to get back to one of the predictions, by the way, that would you say we both predicted that the Pretty Reckless would have a breakout 2025? Do you feel that the Pretty Reckless had a breakout 2025?
I don't think so.
Right.
Not what I was expecting. I thought for sure, I thought they would also probably put something new out.
Yes.
Newer.
Yes. Other than a holiday song.
Right. Taylor did maybe an EP. I think it's
Taylor
6
Momsen.
songs.
Just to clarify, not Taylor Swift. Taylor Momsen.
Taylor Momsen. Yeah.
The Taylor. The true Taylor. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Especially if Jess is listening downstairs. But, they got the gig opening for AC/DC, which I read the other day, it's carrying through to this year, which is killer. But I thought they'd put something new out as a band, newer, to go along with that. And, so I'd say it was probably a 50-50 sort of deal because the crowd, you could sense it when we saw them in Landover. There was some obviously there were groups of people that knew them, were into them, and could kind of sense the disbelief from a lot of the people that were there, what was going on. But by the end of the set, they won them over.
Sure. Absolutely.
So, that I expected was what was going to happen. But I thought they would have a much bigger breakout than they did.
Taylor Momsen made the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. So, that was something. She was there.
Yep.
Lip syncing, unfortunately. That was kind of heartbreaking, but she was there. Taylor Swift was not in the Macy's.
Not.
I'm sure the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade would love to have Taylor Swift there, but they got Taylor Momsen.
Well, and I'm sure CBS is going to be disappointed with their NFL playoff ratings because she won't be around for that either.
Right. Absolutely, yeah.
I'm not.
All right, well, let's get back to 2025. That was really kind of a talk about 2025 because that was a 2025 reflective prediction. Yep. I also predicted that Mick Mars would return to Motley Crue by the end of the year this year, and that did not happen.
I think you made a turnstile prediction too, though, didn't you?
I did not.
No?
I did. Oh, playing the Salisbury Center?
Oh, that's what it was.
That was a dream. The turnstile playing the Salisbury Center. Obviously, they went nuclear. They're well beyond the capacity of this wonderful venue. Even though it's a sizable and wonderful venue, they're just exploded this year.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the awards. Some awards. Ethan, you ready to show some awards here? We got some slides with some nominees, and then of course award winners. The committee met to decide on winners. There's some
tough decisions were made.
Always tough decisions are made. But it recognizes the excellence in rock and roll of the 2025 year.
Yep.
What do you got for us, Ethan? We got our first category, really, which is less about...
It's about us.
It's about us.
It should always be about us.
Of course. We always kick off about the Stand Up and Shout rock show itself. Yeah. All right, some moments. Ethan, you were here for some of these moments. We have another producer, John, that was here for others of these moments. And we had a lot of producers this year. Chris.
Yep.
Remember Chris came in and produced, I think, one show?
Yeah, he was guest producer.
Guest producing. Yeah.
We even had little Scott came back.
Scott came back and produced the show.
Yeah.
So we could have had producer of the year, and that really would have stirred some controversy. Ethan's here, so he's like,
I would have won that.
Would have had to adjust the slide for whichever one was here.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's throw that back up, Ethan. I'm sorry about that. The Stand Up and Shout Rock Show's podcast game of the year. As you guys know, we love to do some games. One of our games is Bottoms Up, where we do the countdown. We call it we're counting down, but we're really coming up from the bottom. So how can you resist a little bottoms up? Another game we have, What Are the Odds, where we're choosing and making selections in terms of predictability and things happening in the rock world. Heard and Word, where we throw in our favorite terms. And really, those are our three main categories that's come up here. So the subjects, if you want to go back and see any of these shows, please do so, because they're fun shows to rewatch, and they're still relevant.
Yep.
The first one that's up there, that's the bullet, Preoccupied with 1995. So that's our bottoms up countdown of 1995, our top albums from February 25th. Second nominee, Rock and Roll Hall of Shame. What Are the Odds, on March 5th. So that was when the nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Shame were announced, and we made our predictions.
Right.
We talked about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame a lot this year.
We did.
Yeah. So back to the beginning, Heard and Word, related specifically, when we say back to the beginning, that's Ozzy's Festival that you mentioned earlier, Kevin. So back to the beginning, we did really just some comments. Oh man, we're getting some comments from down below about Taylor Swift from Jess, who did overhear some of our Taylor Swift conversation. Most underrated bands, bottoms up of August 5th. That was brought to us by the Boss.
Yes.
The Boss wanted to really kind of speak to who were some underrated acts out there that should have received some recognition earlier in their career. And that was really, to me, kind of like a up in the air conversation, because you had to like label something as being underrated, and what is underrated to one isn't underrated to another.
That's true. Yeah.
Right. So some big names out there, some people consider as being underrated. And then our final nomination was the most recent show that we had, a bottoms up on the best concert shirt. We brought in some wardrobe.
We did.
We
Showed
tend to
off
wear
some
attire,
wardrobe.
right? Like, what is our best concert attire that's out there? And getting back to Taylor Swift, we just got a note that Jess wanted to add that Taylor Swift gets married on June 13th. Not sure, like...
I guess she's invited.
Yeah, maybe. So, maybe that's an event, a rock and roll event to attend?
No.
Taylor Momsen is not getting married.
Nope.
No, so like we don't have to worry about that in any kind of way.
Yep.
Or at least speak to that in any kind of way. Thank you for that note, though, Ethan. Appreciate that. All right, but let's get to the Stand Up and Shout Rock Show podcast game of the year, the big bad winner. We just derailed it. Everybody was waiting in suspense. Ethan, do you have a drum roll or something back there? And Kevin, you knew Kevin. Oh, we got a buzzer. All right, here we are. And the winner is... Ethan, what do you got for us? The best concert shirt episode.
That was a tough decision.
Tough decision. There was a lot of good shows. Yeah. That's why.
The most underrated rock band, Bottoms Up, that had some legs.
It was strong.
Because, while we don't have a large live following, there was a lot of commentary on that.
Of course.
And then it spun off, like when we had Spread Eagle here in June.
Yeah.
We talked about that. And, so there was a lot of discussion about those bands, that some of them that we pointed out that we felt were underrated.
Yeah, absolutely. But concert attire, it has a lot of weight, right? Like,
Sure.
that, and especially we talked about that. That is your mark, especially prior to social media, that you were there.
Yep.
That's how you communicated to others. You communicated by walking in and showing your colors. We still do it. We still do it to this day. I was going to say, you have some great swag, a classic. Yeah. We talked about this in the episode. Classic Metallica skull shirt. Because I think there's a skull in every Metallica shirt ever made.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, you chose your metal up your ass shirt. That's a toilet with a knife coming out of the toilet. But is there a skull on that one? I don't remember. Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one.
Which is probably the most famous, ironically.
Yeah, I guess even the Ride the Lightning T-shirt is.
That's
skull got sitting in the electric chair.
Exactly. Yeah. Very cool. So, all right. So I recommend that anybody go back and check out some of these Stand Up and Shout Rock Show podcast episodes, because they're fantastic. We always have a lot of great times in these conversations. Kevin, I'm going to let you take the next one.
All right.
The next category is...
So, left field podcast moment of 2025.
Again, from the Stand Up and Shout Rock Show.
That's
so
right.
we're staying in.
It's all about us.
To our memorable moments, and you can always go back and watch these again and again.
Yep. So nominee number 1, 5 bands and 1 interview from our April show.
That was crazy, wasn't it?
It was hard to manage.
That was like, that's why it's left field. It was like, it's just insanity. Like
it wasn't starting out that way, but that's how it ended up when we got here that day.
Right. I think that we did some heavy happenings in that, where we were talking about some recent rock events.
Yep.
And then we were letting people speak to that. Or maybe it was, or Would You Rather. We did something in conversation. We're trying to guide the conversation, but that conversation went out of control.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great conversation. It was either that or, I think it was Would You Rather, but it was band related.
Yeah, so it could have been frontmen.
That,
like choosing your frontman.
The frontman, or
was it the decades when we were doing on the fives?
I think it's on the fives.
Yes, on the fives. So like either like 1985, 2 albums that we were selecting. So like we had a lot of age variation with that crew. Right. So there was not many that may have known 1985 albums as well as 2015 albums.
Well, and we had some 75s in there too.
Yeah, we went that like far back.
Yeah, but it was interesting to see where, much like when we did the multiple bottoms up Metallicas with different bands.
Sure.
Where you got a feel for, when they started listening, if they started listening, did they really know the band?
Right.
So yeah, it was good.
Did you did you think that was more chaotic? Remember another chaotic moment from 2 years ago is when we had Age of Ruin in here with the Pringles taste test.
That was pretty chaotic.
Yeah, I know. So like, would you rather do, in terms of like running a show, would you rather do the 5 bands in a virtual interview, or would you rather do a Pringles test with a dozen people in here, including all of Age of Ruin, feeling really good?
Well, there were variables that made that more challenging.
Oh, right. That's what I'm saying. Feeling really good. Yeah.
Well, I suppose if I'm hungry, I'd go for the Pringles.
All right. I appreciate that.
I was that day.
All right. Look, we're just talking about one show. So sorry, we just diverted. That was the first nominee.
Yep. Second one, Silver Tongue, when they joined us here in the studio in June, revealing their porn name association.
Yeah, so Silver Tongue is that from a porn movie or porn star? I think it's a porn movie, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And they just that just resonated with them. That stuck. You think they made that revelation before? Is that a Stand Up and Shout first time, reveal, or you think they'd made?
I'm sure they've maybe on an actual podcast or on the air somewhere.
Sure. It wasn't too much of a secret for them.
I don't think so.
All right.
Nominee 3 was Celebrating Ozzy from our July 25th show, which, came right on the heels of his passing. So that was a good one.
That's why I think it's left field.
Yeah.
Because
it certainly wasn't what we were planning for that show.
Right.
But it's what we had to do at that point in time.
Because I think the show before that, we were doing our show on the Back to the Beginning Festival. So we were just being reflective. I feel like all of July was about Ozzy, because it was first this Phenom Festival that happened. It was an amazing festival that I've still, turn on from time to time just to listen to the festival. And it's great, like TV kind of background music, live music that happened. And then several weeks later, we're talking about Ozzy's passing and memorializing him.
Yep.
And that was that show. So that's why I feel it's left field. It was just, I was not expecting Ozzy to pass.
Oh, yeah.
At that time.
I mean, obviously, Father Time's undefeated, but it certainly came very quickly based on the Back to the Beginning and all of that. So.
Right.
And then nominee number 4, your first boob experience at Motley Crue.
I wasn't expecting this. Maybe this is more personal. Maybe it's a more left field moment for me than it was like for the, I don't know if that was overly stunning, but it was John that kind of drove that. Like he was just, all of a sudden I was getting asked questions because I just made the offhanded comment. I first saw my first pair of live boobs at a Motley Crue show. Then I had to reveal how that all came around, how that all happened. And that did. That was what? It was 1985. The one that was 40 years ago.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. And the winner is. I heard Ethan make a sound effect. I heard Ethan's voice. There's the buzzer. We got a buzzer again.
Right.
I feel like that's like a shot clock or something. And that's kind of fun.
You're out of time.
Right. All right. The buzzer beater is my first boobs at a Motley Crue show. Kevin's speechless. Kevin's speechless on that one. He just paused, a long pause. Nobody knew where to. I mean, look, I don't think that's overly stunning for anybody to say that they saw some boobs at a Motley Crue show, especially like 30, 40 years ago.
Shows.
Right. But especially that. It's like that. I mean, like a Poison show was another one. In other words, anything that would draw like the amount of women that those shows would draw. Like, remember they were barely dressed?
Yeah,
like,
you're not seeing that at Queensryche.
Right. You're not going to see that at a Queensryche or a Tool show or, like
Primus.
Or
Rush.
No.
Well, maybe this time with Rush.
A little bit. But like even then, like you have to like stretch to see the boobs because they were just in like a lot of women just showed up in lingerie, like literally showed up in lingerie.
Yeah.
So now we have it. I mean, now that was before the internet, so that's where you had to kind of go to see that happen. Like now it's like, why is everybody like freaking out over boobs? I can just hit it in 2 clicks and be there and no problem. So I don't know. Maybe that's why it was more left field in a nostalgic way. Okay, we're sticking with the Stand Up and Shout Rock Show.
Yep. Interview of the year.
Interview of the year. So these are always great moments when we have bands in.
Yep.
And then we can talk to the different teams of musicians as they come in and are all coming in different angles and directions, and it's always just a shit ton of fun.
Well, and we also got to do a couple on the road too. So
that was very different twist this year. We were backstage at the M3 Rock Festival. That was a wonderful experience. I'd love to do that again and again. So so do you want to read these down?
Sure.
All right.
So we have Primus came in March the 5th.
Mike Horn.
Was that the first time he was here when we?
I believe yes, that was the first time.
Around the Fur.
Yes,
because he was also here with his wife Joanna.
Yes.
Leading up to their show.
And congratulations to the Horns.
Yes.
Speaking of which, they won if you do not watch the show, which I typically don't watch, but I knew they were on it, so I had to watch it, which is the Great Christmas Light Fights on ABC. They won their episode. They won $50,000 on that episode.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Lighting up the house.
Yeah.
So congratulations to the Horns.
Yep. Nominee number 2 is John Allen from Child's Play.
Fantastic. That was the M3 Rock Festival.
M3, yep.
And so you might have been, one of my favorite things about this interview is you might have been feeling a little okay during that interview.
I cannot confirm nor deny.
It was hot fun in the summer sun.
That's right.
Yeah.
Then Ace Frehley came on.
That was your last Ace Frehley show.
It was. I saw most of it. Then Spread Eagle the next day.
We've talked to these guys a lot, man.
Yep.
Like they're just great people.
Yep.
I love talking to those dudes. They're just a great band, great music.
So yeah, that was
underrated.
Absolutely
them
underrated.
As underrated. They're an underrated act for sure.
Yeah, a great chat after their performance at the M3. So we got to share and get their feelings on performing to that crew, which was cool. Number 4, Zach Bowling of the Native How joined us remotely May 21st. That was ahead of their show at Tally Ho.
The show at Tally Ho. Yep. And Zach's just a great down to earth Midwest guy.
Yep.
From his basement in Michigan, had just some great conversation about the Native How. Also on the show No Cover on YouTube. So if you haven't seen the show No Cover, it's like a hard rock American Idol. As the name implies, no cover, only originals. So you get to hear the great original music of the Native How. Great, fantastic live act.
Yep. And then American Dream Machine from June 25th.
American Dream Machine, who also played. So we had several interviews, like we said, with Spread Eagle. So Spread Eagle was here that night. They were headlining that show.
Right.
American Dream Machine played in front of them, but they were fun guys too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good
Excellent. Yeah. So a lot of good conversation. I feel like we could have dropped more bands into those nominees, and
for sure.
Yeah. And so go back, check those out. And the winner is
the buzzer's not working for that. John Allen from the M3 Festival.
That was great. And he was just such a down to earth, easy person to talk to.
Yeah,
You guys bonded over Dio.
Yep, it was a great conversation because that's the one of the first times I saw Child's Play live, and they opened for Dio at the old Painters Mill Amphitheater in Reisterstown, Maryland, and they blew me away. And then got to see him many times after that. But that was a unique show. So
Absolutely, Child's Play was fantastic, and again, some people are just easy to talk to, and John Allen's one of those guys.
Absolutely.
Just like all the guys in Spread Eagle. You can just have a great conversation with those guys and really enjoy your time with them.
Not pretentious in any way, and just a great interview.
Sure. All right. So another item that we're doing here in the Stand Up and Shout Rock Show is what we call our heavy happenings. So heavy happenings are news events that happen throughout the year. We've had some big news happen in 2025. Big news always happens in the rock world. We'll get more of that in 2026. But until then, these are some of the items that we selected that we discussed here on the Stand Up and Shout Rock Show. I'll go ahead and read these off. The first nominee is the Back to the Beginning Festival, which was announced in February 5th. So that kind of speaks to your prediction, Kevin.
Yep.
Yeah. So we were saying that we were wanting this to happen and it was probable to happen. And then we've got the official word, and it was very exciting. Unlike the M3 Rock Festival.
Correct.
We were excited over this lineup.
Oh, yeah. That was, the bands that were immediately announced, it was kind of mind-blowing that all of these names were going to come together and celebrate Ozzy, but for good reason, right? Because without Ozzy and Black Sabbath, most of the metal bands would not exist.
Yep.
They're one of the forefathers. So they wanted to pay tribute to those guys. And, it just really was looking forward to it. And it turned out to be a phenomenal day of rock.
I know. Wish we could have gone.
Yeah. We do know
Birmingham,
some
England.
people that did get to go.
We did. We do know some people that went. And they loved every second.
Yep.
Okay. Our next nominee, Celebrating Ozzy. So that really is our acknowledgement that Ozzy has passed. Obviously, a very heavy and sad topic. You talk about the highs and lows of 2025. One of the lows. I don't know if it was expected or not. I said to me, it was somewhat unexpected on the heels of that Back to the Beginning festival.
Right.
But certainly a significant news event in the rock world of this year.
Absolutely.
All right, our next nominee after that, Foo Fighters and Nine Inch Nails swap drummers on August 20th. A little bit of a freakish news story.
Yep.
One major band drops a drummer, and the other picks him up, and it was almost like an NFL trade.
Yep.
That happened between two great alt-rock acts.
No performers to be named later involved.
So Josh Freese ultimately went from the Foo Fighters over into Nine Inch Nails, and Ian. Oh my gosh, I know, Rick. I'm gonna blank on the last name.
I already have.
All right, I was gonna say popped over into the Foo Fighters. We're gonna see
and see both bands this year.
Exactly. So we're gonna have to see how this swap plays out.
Right.
Yes.
For sure.
All right. Nominee number 4, Megadeth announced their farewell tour on August 20th. Did you see that coming?
No way.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, right? We've been a lot of the bands that we go see, a lot of the bands that we continue to listen to. We've been doing it for a long time. So, at some point it's going to end.
Sure.
But no, there's, and I know Dave has had some health issues and some things within his career, but
Right.
When they came out and announced this is their last album and this is their farewell tour that's going to come on the heels of it, it was shocking.
Right.
Yep.
All right. Number 5, Foo Fighters return with a stadium tour on October 29th. So there we go. There's a little piece. I think we started with positive news as a nominee and we ended with positive news. I always say the world needs the Foo Fighters. Still a relevant stadium rock act that brings in a lot of joy and fun and a lot of people, more importantly, to see a great live show.
Yeah, and we had the Foo Fighters, What Are the Odds? And, so this was a little shocking, too, with all of the things that happened within Dave Grohl's world over the last year or so. And super excited for
Dave's
it.
love child is not going to stand in the way of great rock and roll.
Nope.
All right. And the winner is, Ethan's looking up expectantly. This is So You, Kevin. This is very you.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
August.
I'm going to let you announce it. No, but we didn't say it out loud.
Yeah. Oh. Megadeth announced their farewell tour as the winner.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, like I said, it was shocking. But I'm excited because the stuff that's been released off the new album is really, really good.
Strong, yeah, strong.
Very strong. And they're releasing Let There Be Shred on Friday, the third track off the album. And we'll see what that's all about. And we're going to go see them in August.
We are. I feel this is significant news because they are one of the big four of thrash metal.
Yep.
Right? And obviously we talk about thrash metal a lot. You love thrash metal. I mean, there's not many that I know that loves thrash metal more than you. And we always had the big four, right? Like a big four was like almost like a consistent and assumed thing. You have Slayer kind of bouncing in and out, right?
Yep.
But they always seem to come back, right? Like I just don't see Megadeth doing that because Dave Mustaine, he's not a wishy-washy person. Like when he commits to a direction, he's fully committed to that direction. So I don't see this as many farewell tours that we see.
Sure.
Right? Like it is a farewell tour, but we'll be back in another 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. Well, it does sound like this is going to be like a Kiss-esque farewell tour.
It's going to be a long...
It's not going to be like just this summer and it's over.
Right.
I've heard as much as 2 years or longer.
Right.
So...
And we'll be there for all of them.
And it's supposed to be a headlining tour too. So, I mean, we're seeing them opening for Maiden in August. So they haven't even really announced those dates in the US yet. So that's to come.
Right.
And, but it's interesting because, we've talked, I don't know if we've talked about it on the show, but, we talked that it would be cool if they did it kind of like back to the beginning, not necessarily all the bands kind of coming in to pay tribute, but the previous members of Megadeth having a part in it.
Right.
It doesn't sound like that's going to happen.
No. I mean, that's also very Dave Mustaine also when it's over, it's over.
and it's, the bigger question I think most people would say is, well, it's Junior, but it doesn't sound like it's that.
Right.
It's the other guys that he's like, does not want to have any part of.
Right.
And has been quoted as saying, if we were going to do that, it would have to be everybody that's had a part, obviously Nick Menz has passed away, but that have had a part in the band, but they're just a couple of guys that I would never perform with again.
Right. I'm sure that like, if some people were going to like hear this and think like, what the fuck, how could you pass over Ozzy and Ozzy's passing? I could say in my humble vote, when I had the vote in this category, Megadeth was more of a surprise announcement. Ozzy, I feel, was somewhat expected. I would still say that his death, I wasn't expecting at the time on the heels of Back to the Beginning, but you knew at some point that, and you even saw it in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction of the year before, that his time on the stage was limited. And you spoke to Dave Mustaine, some of his health issues, but it still felt like he was vibrant enough to go out there and keep playing what they were playing.
Correct.
So when I received
a little younger too.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So when we received that news in August that this was going to be a farewell album, I've found that, and remember Megadeth released that in their social media. I did not see that coming in any kind of way.
Yeah, I was in Italy.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So
right.
I was like, what?
Right. So I think the surprise factor pushed this in a direction for me to call this heavy happening of the year.
Sure.
Yeah. And again, like it's also the weight, not only surprise, but the weight of it, meaning the gravity of it, because this is one of the original big four.
Yep.
And are we going to say that in several years? Is there a thrash big four anymore? Because Megadeth's one of the pillars that's non-existent.
Right. Well, and Lars was in a recent article that came out a couple of days ago said Metallica maybe has 10 years.
Right. Yes.
Before they're going to call it quits. So
thrash metal's complex to play, and it's ultimately rock and roll's a young man's game. So they're going to be able to keep up with what they've written and really aggressively pace themselves to be able to play like over their younger years.
Yeah. And Gary Holt from Exodus and Slayer has said the same thing. It's like, as we get older to do some of the things, the guitar work that we do in thrash becomes harder and harder and harder.
I've seen it in Days of Five. I've seen some hesitancy towards playing Monkey Wrench from Foo Fighters because of the strumming. It's a little intensive on those older guys. All right, let's move on. Stand up and shout reel/short of the year. So these are kind of interesting, these reels and shorts. I say that 3 years ago, this wasn't even on our radar to cut like a reel or a short.
No.
But then we started cutting them and we get a shit ton of views on our reels and shorts.
And on some things that you never thought posting it,
Right.
A lot of it is in and around the live shows we're at, posting different parts of it. So you never know, I guess, how folks are going to react to certain things.
Absolutely. Never, completely unpredictable. And we certainly mix it up. So like you're bringing up, we do some live show shorts. We just kind of like throw up haphazardly just to, hey, we're at the show. And this is like an awesome part of the show. Then there's also like reels and cutaways that we do, like in our conversation. So that's another like approach to it too. But we've had a lot of success with reels and shorts. That's what we started. We acknowledged them last year. We acknowledge them again this year. All right, let you take it.
Sure. So Balls to the Wall, obviously, except they were a performer at M3 this year.
We posted that short in our social media, and that is our highest hitting short of all time. We have about 35,000 views, maybe 37,000 views on just the chorus of Balls to the Wall.
Yeah.
Which is a great song. And man, you talk about like recognizable riffs. We can do a bottoms up on recognizable rock riffs. That would have to be probably talked about.
Yep.
But yeah, everybody loved that short.
Yep. Second nominee, Win is Enter Sandman. Right. So from Lane Stadium.
Yes.
If I had known that we were going to get some of the commentary that we got so we went around the parking lot. It was very late in the tailgating session.
Yeah.
And talking to folks that were there for Metallica. Obviously, Enter Sandman is very huge for Virginia Tech football.
Got to play that song.
I would say most of the people were there primarily for that song. So the question became, when are they going to play it?
Right. When in the set list is it going to drop? They're going to open with this. They're going to close with this. It's going to happen in the middle. Right.
Do a little of both, whatever. And so, we talked to 4 or 5 people and it was great comments, great conversation. And we probably should have did it a little bit earlier in the day.
Heavy metal parking lot. It was a classic heavy metal parking lot, but we got a lot of views on that one. And you're right. Like a lot of comments coming back out of that one too. There's a lot of opinions on that.
Yep. And then next is Enter Sandman, the actual performance of that from Lane Stadium. Nominee number 4, Jimmy's Chicken Shack on the side stage.
And that's the side stage of the HF Festival specifically. And again, like you're getting back not only a lot of views, but again, a lot of comments on this. And so it was really kind of funny. People were kind of railing because I said that they never really made the main stage. And it was really kind of like a, fuzzy way of saying that they made the main stage. They were the opening act 1 year of the main stage. Right. So like they made it at 1 p.m., but we were saying as an underrated band, and we feel strongly that they're an underrated band, that they should have been deeper as a headlining act into the HF Festival.
Yep.
We were all kind of agreeing, but people were angrily kind of disagreeing that we were not really agreeing, but we were agreeing. And we even had Jimmy Haha from Jimmy's Chicken Shack comment on that one.
Yep.
So yes. Yeah.
She Sells Sanctuary, so the cult performance.
Another live performance that just scored a lot of views and a lot of comments too. There was a lot of positive, it's easy in social media to get a lot of negative comments. Right. This particular reel got a lot of positive comments, which was nice to see.
And the last nominee, Detroit Got It Right. Jack White's halftime show from this Thanksgiving.
Man, what a great show. I still go back to that.
It was awesome.
Jeff Salisbury's wrong. Like, the hell was he watching? It was amazing.
Just not a fan.
I guess not. Probably political.
So, and the winner is...
This is tough. This is really tough. I mean, you can go a lot of direction, but we went with Balls to the Wall at the M3 Rock Festival.
I mean, it's the most views.
And it's the unpredictability. Like, it's the double variable. I think we did some unpredictability in our last 2 winners. Like, the things that you just wouldn't expect, you got to acknowledge your highest hitter. Like, you just got to...
Well, and, you posted that when we were at the show, and
Feeling good.
feeling good.
Not expecting anything from it. It was just kind of like, yeah, we just might as well throw this up. Just we got the time.
Yeah, half hour later.
Right. It's
Like, what?
blowing up. So yeah, I don't know. So I mean, that's really just the simple story behind that one. I could have gone in a lot of different directions with this one though, because they were all great reels and shorts. We had a lot of great moments. So that's, it should be celebrated.
Yes.
Okay, enough about the podcast. Let's just talk about the music scene in general. We talk a lot about albums.
Yep.
I still love albums.
Absolutely.
Some people don't like albums. They just want to go and randomize and just hear songs and singles and just shuffle even on the artist and not like hear the album in its entirety. But there's been a lot of good albums released this year and they should be listened to. Like artists really work hard to get those together and you're missing a lot of great material if you don't even give it a chance to begin with.
Right.
All right. So, all right, a lot of nominees here. So the Stand Up and Shout hard rock / metal album of the year. Look, like, don't ride us out for like what is hard rock and what is metal. We can talk about that till we're blue in the face and then never really define it. So this is what we got for that category. Mammoth of Mammoth Van Halen's The End. Hailstorm's Everest. Turnstiles, Never Enough. Testament, Parabellum. Deftones, Private Music. Dorothy, The Way. Youngblood, Idols. Age of Ruin, Nothing Man. All right, like a local act made it in there.
Friends of ours.
Very strong. Congratulations,
They must
Daniel.
have some pull on the committee.
They must have some pull on the committee. I love it.
Yes.
All right, and the winner is it going to be Age of Ruin? They'll really piss off Daniel Lewis. Oh, look at the cheer. You got the fuss and cheer. Nice, Ethan. Way to bring it. Turnstile, Never Enough. Look, I will strongly advocate for this I think this is the runaway winner of the year. I don't think that it's like, we just talked about reels and shorts being somewhat close. I worship this album, man. I love this album. I think it's an amazing step for hardcore punk.
Yep.
To blend, genre like it did. I know that we've had some bands in here. We were talking about this album from time to time. And we always run into this, I feel like, in over all years and all like bands with hard rock and metal as like, did they sell out? I don't feel that this is a sellout. Like they use different instrumentation. They're not religious to just guitars. They did use electronics in this and different effects, but really at the end of the day, so did the Bad Brains. HR famously in Sacred Love, was just supposed to be him calling his girlfriend from a prison cell. They recorded that over a phone, which was not a pedal, not an effect pedal, but it was the effect of the day. So I don't think that that's ever been absent from hardcore punk and it can just be stripped down to nothing. And that's the only sound that it can generate. I love that this band from Baltimore, so it's a local feel to it too, not only just Age of Ruin, put this together and got nominated in 3 different categories. The first hardcore punk album to be nominated in 3 different categories at the Grammys. I think that's a huge step, but a huge leap for this band from Baltimore.
Well, and to me, it's, they had commercial success with it. It's their largest selling album. It's their highest charting album of their 4 studio albums. And they were on The Tonight Show.
They were.
So
Jimmy Fallon decided like he liked this band.
Yeah. So it was a breakout year for a great local band from Baltimore.
Right.
I mean, the Testament album, Parabellum, we love Testament.
Yeah.
They're going a little bit kind of over the edge, in my opinion, for what I like in that genre.
Well, it's a little bit of a move away from thrash metal, and like we've always said, they're a kind of forgotten piece of the big 4. We're talking about the big 4 with Megadeth, and I love Testament too. So like it's hard for me to not consider them as like a big 5 instead of a big 4. Like I feel like they're just as important as the other 4 bands.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just a great year for albums. The Deftones album was good.
Yeah.
Hailstorm, their new album is really showing some evolution in their songwriting. And Dorothy's The Way was phenomenal as well.
I'll go back to Youngblood too. So Youngblood obviously gained a lot of popularity, really to me specifically from his performances in the Back to the Beginning festival with Changes, Ozzy's Changes. I don't know, like some people consider that too much pop, but I would definitely still consider him a rock act, right? Like, I don't know if he's going to hang with Testament,
Sure.
or like a Turnstile or a Mammoth.
Well, obviously, like his version of Changes, I hear on TikTok videos left and right.
Right.
And people are like, "Oh, this is a great new song." I'm like, "It's not a new song.
Right.
It's a newer musician,
50-year-old song
doing it." But yeah, do a little research.
Yeah. All right, great album. Now, to me, this is a harder category, much more difficult. We always say this when we do a bottoms up. Albums are easier almost because you're like really kind of like talking about a holistic feel to a group of songs. But the individual songs themselves to identify, that can be a really tough thing. Songs are obviously just they're more focused on a specific mood, and they're more abundant. So to narrow them down like into categories and to select one is a really hard thing to do. But we're going to try with our Stand Up and Shout.
Oh, it's easy for me.
Hard Rock Metal Song of the Year. Okay, all right. We'll go. Since this is easy for you, I'm going to let you read them.
All right. Foo Fighters, Asking for a Friend. Mm-hmm. So that was a good new release.
We're so happy. Like I said, the world needs Foo Fighters.
Yep.
A great uplift at the end of the year.
Aerosmith, My Only Angel.
Mm-hmm. With Youngblood.
Yep, with Youngblood. Mm-hmm. It's a nice little collaboration they got going on there. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the direction we're heading in for the next farewell tribute. Mm-hmm. Since they're outperforming again. Mm-hmm. 9 Inch Nails, as live as You Need Me to Be.
I think it's a little bit of an ambush there that 9 Inch Nails released this song. I think it's a very, again, nicely surprising ambush like the Foo Fighters that they're putting out new music.
Yep. Seeing Stars / Birds, Turnstile.
This is a little bit of a cheat in this nomination because you're getting two songs in one.
Two songs, right.
But Birds was the song that in their Tiny Desk, NPR Tiny Desk appearance, that if you want to see a good rendition of that song, go back and find that reel.
And Seeing Stars is a great collaboration with Haley Williams on vocals.
Yep.
Killer song. Mm-hmm. Mammoth, The End, which is... you really can tell he's a Van Halen.
Are you right?
On that song.
Right?
Hailstorm, Everest.
Yeah.
That's the title track off the new album. Limp Bizkit, Making Love to Morgan Wallen.
Okay, so I'll fess up. I'm not a Limp Bizkit fan, but I nominated this song just for the title. What a great title. I mean, sometimes Limp Bizkit always to me has been way too campy, for me, but Making Love to Morgan Wallen is funny campy. Good for you, Fred Durst. Normally I'm not a fan, but that was strong.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Megadeth, Tipping Point, the lead track off the upcoming to be released album.
Yeah. Excellent. All right.
Yeah.
You're very serious when you made that announcement.
That's right.
There's no poker face for you, Kevin.
There's not. And, so this is the split award, though.
This is a split award, but it didn't have to be. I'll say that. You could have swayed me on this one.
Yeah.
All right. But we didn't talk. We never talk about this, by the way. We save it for the show. So, Ethan, you're going to get 2 winners. Go ahead and post up both. You can put them up in succession because you're going to get the Wisk winner, which was Mammoth, The End, because you're right. I love the homage to Van Halen, in the song. It's a ripping, hard driving Van Halen feel, inside of the stand. I love all the
tapping is just, it's that's
right.
Dad.
Right, absolutely. And you kind of were waiting for this for him, for a long time, and he finally let that fly. And it was strong, man. That's just a strong, ripping, hard rock party song. And then Kevin, you got another one.
Shocker. Yeah, that song, when that came out, well, you got the little snippet, which was that bridge coming out of the guitar solo. Mm-hmm. And it's okay, this is, they stay true to their roots.
Yes.
With the exception of the Risk album. They've been thrashed from the start, and they're going out thrashing.
I was fessing up. I feel like I was saving this conversation for 2026. I feel like we're going to be talking about Megadeth a lot in 2026.
We will, and the album of the year is already selected for 2026.
So that's why I feel like I've bent a little bit back away from Tipping Point. That's why I selected, the End instead.
Yeah.
But that's so my thought process. But with that being said, I'm not going to argue against what you just said. And if we wanted to go to giving away 1 trophy instead of 2, I would be happy moving over to Megadeth. Sure.
Well, now we gave out 2.
All right, exactly. All All right.
Now it gets hard.
Now we're getting into like this, the best part. This is the meat of the show, right? Because it's all about live music.
This is why we started this program.
Yeah. But we're getting to the live show of the year for 2025. We have live show of the year just in general, but we also have live show of the year here at the Salisbury Center because we have to, of course, acknowledge all the great things that happen in this event venue.
Yep.
All right, go ahead, Kevin.
Evik's New Year After New Year party in January.
Yeah.
Primus came in February along with their friends in Around the Fur.
Both bands were great. So you got 2 nominees really for the same show. That was a great double bill.
It was a phenomenal show. Right. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Primus is a Primus tribute band. Around the Fur is a Deftones tribute band. Then we have Void the Sandman.
Void the Sandman, like from Richmond.
Yep.
That was like, I feel like that was kind of a surprise show. We weren't really know what to expect from those kids.
Yeah.
Because they're little young pups.
Yep.
But they showed up and brought it.
Yep. Then in June, we had another
one of our
bill,
favorites.
Spread Eagle. Good friends.
Spread Eagle won this category last year.
They did.
They did. They had a great live show here at the Salisbury Center in 2024.
And then American Dream Machine, we talked earlier, was the opener for that show. Bliss,
a Nirvana tribute act that was here in June, and that man, like that, James Heedle from this band sounds amazingly like Kurt Cobain. Like that was stunning how much his vocals like are in tune with Kurt Cobain.
Right.
Yeah.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
And then Loungefly from just last week.
Right. So like Stone Temple Pilots cover act because you just can't go, or tribute act, excuse me. You just can't go wrong with a little STP.
Nope.
All right. And the winner is the Spread Eagle. Primus steals it from Spread Eagle this past February.
Yeah, you can't go back to back.
It's hard to repeat.
Yes.
Sorry, fellas, but it was a great live show, Spread Eagle.
It was.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It was. But I got to say, Primus, I'm not usually a tribute act guy, and Spread Eagle's an original band, right? So, like, talk about, like, just the differences between the two.
Right.
But I just think that Primus just nails their tribute performance like to the T. It's amazing how great they play Primus songs, which are not hard or not easy to play. They're a little bit hard to play.
Definitely shows the musicianship with the guys in that band. And I mean, it's album quality.
And they enjoy it, you know, and you see that on the stage. So there's just a great charisma, you know, while they're on that stage, and they just really play note for note what they're supposed to be playing in those songs. And I would watch Primus again and again in many places.
Sure.
All right.
So they'll be back here soon.
Yes. Congratulations, fellas. Okay.
And the grand finale.
Always the best thing that we always look forward to as music fans year after year after year. Many years of my life there, my friend. I'm going to let you kind of like kick off the very long list of nominees here for live show of the year outside of the Salisbury Center.
Yes. So Zach Sabbath, that's kind of a cheat.
Yeah. Like, do you put
it
this
it was barely January.
New Year's, I know, right? Like, because he went into 2025. We were really
he started us in 2025.
So, by the way, these categories are shows that you and I have seen.
Correct.
Together. That has to be a qualifier that you and I both had to witness these shows. There should be nothing on here that you and I have not seen together.
Yep. In February, Jerry Cantrell at the Fillmore.
That was great.
Fucking awesome show.
That was. I mean, that really kind of came out of left field. I was not expecting Jerry Cantrell to tour.
Right.
Yeah, and so like a great new album release.
Played a lot more Alice songs than I thought he was going to play.
Yeah.
And my favorite, outside of the performance, my favorite part was the young buck that was standing next to us that at one point goes, when was the first time you saw him?
Yeah.
I was like, I saw him with Lane.
All right, 93.
Clash of the Titans.
Right.
When they were getting booed by the Slayer fans.
Right.
Phenomenal. Mm-hmm. But he was very angry that he wasn't around at that time.
Yeah.
Little young buck. Uh-huh. Then we talked about it earlier. The month of May was killer.
These May categories, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got to count that twice. 8, 9, 10 shows in the month of May that were nominated in this category.
Yep. So LA Guns was at the Tally Ho.
We talked about that earlier.
We've seen them there 3 or 4 times, and every time it's great.
They bring it, man. They're still like
Phil Lewis was sick that night, but still just was money.
Right.
David Lee Roth, this one is a little controversial.
I know.
You see the posts, Tommy London and Mark Striegel have put a lot of stuff up about that because they were at this show at M3. We loved it.
Loved every second.
I was having a debate with a friend of mine I used to work with at C-SPAN who he's announced he's doing some shows touring this year. And he's like, I don't want to see it. I'm like,
then don't go.
Don't go. I mean, it's good. He's great. He's not going, I said, he's not the David Lee Roth from the 80s.
Right.
But he doesn't try and fake it.
Right. There's no backing tracks. It's all still live. He brings his backup vocal performances in as the part of the show. It was, acknowledged like the party power of Van Halen in that live show. Yep. And I think we saw the audience that night. They had a hell of a time. So if there were people that were in there that were hating that show, they weren't expressing it.
Right.
Because there was a lot of cheering and dancing and singing going on. So,
and it was deep cut after Van Halen deep cut all night. It was phenomenal.
Sure.
Spread Eagle from the following day.
They got a double nomination. They're the first band that we've had that were nominated in the Salisbury Center and then also out of the Salisbury Center because this is their performance at the M3 Rock Festival. Yep. So just congratulations to Spread Eagle on that. And
because we had them from the Salisbury Center show as well. So
yes, exactly.
Ace Frehley, that's...
remember that one, Kevin?
I remember a good portion of that.
But it's the last, this is, I laugh, but it's the sad, that was the last.
I know.
We knew, again, in terms of surprises, who knew that was going to be the last time we would see Ace Frehley?
Never would have thunk it.
Right.
Rat from M3, which was that was a great show. Warren DeMartini.
They're always great.
Yeah.
And we're calling it Rat, but that was really kind of it. It was really Stephen Piercy with Warren DeMartini.
True.
Yeah. We didn't really have... I don't think... Did they call themselves Rat, or did they call it
Stephen Piercy with Warren DeMartini?
And I didn't want to write that out. So that still feels like Rat to me. So
Rat and roll, baby.
Right.
Pantera, that should say × 2 because we saw them both at Lane Stadium because they were opening for Metallica.
Right.
And then again in Landover.
Right. Absolutely.
So Metallica × 2. The Pretty Reckless.
I had to go, we have, to get back to the Metallica show, we had to acknowledge the May date because I think that was special with Lane Stadium.
Absolutely.
That was, them playing, it was the first time a concert was at Lane Stadium in Virginia Tech where we went. And of course, they acknowledged, and it was the truth, that really they made Enter Sandman the stadium song that it is at many sporting events.
Right.
So there was a hell of a lot of excitement about them playing there that day in May.
Yeah, for sure. Pretty Reckless and AC/DC, both same night from Landover.
That was a rainy night. Remember that was?
Yeah, it was.
Weather.
It wasn't miserable, but it was, a little wet.
It was.
The Native Howl at the Tally Ho.
I know.
Quite the intimate performance.
It was. I'd like to see them as a Salisbury Center nominee.
Yes, that would be killer.
That would be. That would.
Yep.
Right.
And then Nashville Pussy, quite the shocking experience.
Not only that, but I just like to hear you read that off.
Yeah. Okay.
In October, that was I was not expecting anything out of that show.
I was not. Well, I was looking forward to that show because it was Buck Cherry. But didn't know Monroe. Knew nothing about Nashville Pussy.
Right.
Wasn't expecting anything because I was disappointed that we weren't seeing Michael Monroe, who was the announced opener, and then unfortunately blew out his knee or something, had surgery and couldn't tour. But that band was phenomenal.
It was the only band that we saw where the lead vocalist chugged beer out of his own hat.
Yep.
That was,
that was a first.
They were not afraid to bring an all-out balls to the wall show into the Tally Ho.
What'd you think, Ethan? You were there that night.
Yeah, that's right.
So sick. That lady ripped. She was so good.
Their lead guitarist. Yes. Yeah. All right. And the winner, our final winner of the night, the Stand Up and Shout Rock Show 2025 Awards is Metallica at the Lane Stadium show in May.
So it was going to be one of those, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got to admit, I struggled with this with David Lee Roth.
Oh, yeah?
I did. I really appreciated that David Lee Roth show. I think a lot of people are just wrong. They just missed. They're missing something special with that show. Yeah,
we talked about this at the time, but for me, it was, you can't not enjoy Metallica in Lane Stadium.
Right.
Because that was, it's where we went to school.
It's where we first heard the Black Album.
First heard the Black Album.
For us, right? There's
long
an intimacy.
ways away before it ever became a stadium anthem. We were listening to Metallica. They weren't the band that they are now then. And for that to be where we came of age, I'll say, and relive all of those experiences in Lane Stadium was, it was surreal.
It was very, like, I agree with you there, my friend. It was very special, very like intimate, fun moment. We had not only us, but like a good group around us of dudes that we run around with for years and years and years. We were staying in a house all together, just almost felt like being back in a dorm again. And, just reliving those great times when Metallica brought it, and they brought it. And, part of that's discussed a lot is the seismograph that, of course, the engineering school and the architecture school uses to measure seismic activity in and around the university. And it was popping when Enter Sandman clicked on.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And I mean, it does when they do it for the football games, but there were double, probably even triple the amount of people there relative to a football game. But then, the DC show, for them to play Leper Messiah.
Yeah, that was cool. That was out of the box. Like
I think I looked it up. I can't remember. They've only ever played it 4 or 5 times live in their career.
Right.
And that was mind blowing.
I remember hearing the opening riffs to it. And I'm like, am I hearing that right? Am I going to kick into a song that I have not seen live ever? And we've seen a lot of Metallica shows and it's about to go down this road. So that was pretty slick.
So, but yeah, slam dunk on Lane Stadium.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And slam dunk on a great year, my friend.
Yes.
Congratulations on another year of Stand Up and Shout Rock shows.
Yep. Next time we all convene, it will be kicking off year number 4.
2026, maybe we'll make some bold new predictions and kick off the year that way and talk about some other heavy happenings, since we talked a little bit about that M3 Rock Festival announcement, but we're going to talk more about old news tonight, not necessarily any new news. We can catch up then.
Sounds good.
All right.
Happy holidays. Happy New Year to everybody.
Cheers. Happy rock and roll to everybody out there, and have a great, great holiday season. And listen to some great tunes along the way.
See ya.
See ya.